I thought that tune sounded familiar. Yes, 2 Unlimited, turning that mother up. With the Twilight Zone on Top of the Pops back in early February 1992. But I always know and love that tune from that classic cheese fest that is Buffy, episode 3 of season 1, The Witch. Speaking of the Twilight Zone, it feels a bit like that in the box office top 10 this week. Yes, just the one new entry this week, more on that later, but on its way out of the 10 right now is credible indie gritty drama Juice. A film which manages to be both entertaining, engaging to watch while still having a strong moral message. It has a pretty impressive young cast and a pretty hip soundtrack too. It made close to $15.5 million so far, 3 weeks on the chart. Dropping 3 places to this week's number 9 and clinging on to the top 10 status for Grim Life, it's the dreary The Prince of Tides, which has now been on the chart 6 weeks and made close to $60 million. It's a bit of a critic's darling, but not a darling of mine. I'll be happy to see the back of it. Not so critically acclaimed maybe, but Steven Spielberg's Hook has its hooks still in the top 10. It's this week's number 8 and has made $100 million. And some things never change, well, hardly ever, because in February 1992, Disney was once again coming up smelling roses as Beauty and the Beast has now been on the chart for 12 weeks, has made over $104 million at the box office. It made close to $4 million in this week alone, showing that it's still got plenty of staying power. And if I was a betting man, I might say it might just cling on to the top 10 for another week. It's certainly going down very slowly, and it would be up for a host of Oscars as well. That's Beauty and the Beast, this week's number 7. Oliver Stone's star-studded and much talked about take on the JFK assassination and the conspiracy theory surrounding it is holding very steady at this week's number 6. It would also be up for Oscars, but man is it bloody long. Into the top 5 now, and a great example of the sort of mid-range indie hit which you just don't get anymore, the Grand Canyon now, or just Grand Canyon I guess, from Lawrence Kasdan, 6 weeks on the chart, holding very nicely and making a very tidy $21.5 million so far at the US box office. Steve Martin makes his first of 2 appearances in the top 5 this week. He's joined by an all-star, a somber cast including Mary McDonnell, Kevin Kline, Alfred Woodard and many more. But is it actually any bloody good? I've never seen it, so let me know in the comments below if you've seen Grand Canyon. And speaking of Steve Martin, check out what's at this week's number 4.
Wedding is an entirely different proposition.
Dad, I met a man in Rome, and we're getting married.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I'm engaged, I'm getting married.
Seeing someone who looked like Brian's twin on America's Most Wanted. Great idea where we can have this wedding.
Where?
The steak pit.
I don't think you want the word pit on a wedding invitation.
Carefully. And don't forget to fasten your condom.
Dad!
Seatbelt, I meant seat.
90 words a minute, bilingual dictation, and speaks German with the accent of a Berlin butcher's wife. Lethal combination.
This week's only new entry, no, believe it or not, it's not Children of the Corn 2, it's this period drama starring Micheal Douglas, Melanie Griffith, shining through straight in at number 3.
I said a girl who needs a job won't be treated like a slave.
Are you always like this?
For a woman who dares to speak her mind.
The German language is very specific. Unless, of course, this is all just some kind of code, in which case you should just tell me.
For a man who isn't what he seems.
You're a spy, Mr. Leland.
And you've seen too many movies, Miss Voss.
Enough to know a spy when I see one.
From the director of Bird on the Wire, yes, Melanie Griffin plays a New York Jewish/German secretary during the war. Micheal Douglas there's flirtation going on left, right and centre. Oh God. Just get on and take your bloody clothes off. Give us the erotic thrill we're all hoping for. But sadly, no. They're actually trying to play it straight. Oh my God, this looks just terrible. The Kathy Bates women's picture, Fried Green Tomatoes, stays at this week's number 2, not budging a place. 19 million now at the box office with 6 weeks on the chart. It would also be up for a host of awards.
In the baseball game?
No, honey, I'll probably be checking you into a loony bin.
Then, she met a new friend.
Mrs. Cleo Threadgood, 82-year-old widow, imagine that.
A good friend.
I hate candy bars all over the house. But a candy bar ain't gonna hurt you none. What? No, but 10 or 11.
Who gave her some advice.
You need some hormones.
And holding on to the top spot for the 4th straight week is the star-making Rebecca De Mornay vehicle, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, from director Curtis Hanson, closing in on 45 million now at the box office with 4 weeks on the chart. Very impressive stuff for a film of this stature. But can anything top it? Well, we'll find out next week. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you with a bit of 2 Unlimited and a bit of Buffy.